Hello everyone. With Wuthering Waves' newest 3.2 patch update, we got another hologram in the simulation chamber, Hyvatia. When I first saw the preview for the patch and that Hyvatia was going to be the newest hologram, I expected to really hate this fight, but I was pleasantly surprised by this fight. Not only was it fun, I dare say I think it might be the best hologram in the game right now. It is a fight where you're constantly engaging with the boss. You can weave in some dodges and counterattacks, and you can parry most of the attacks without even trying. I guess it depends on your character, but I was playing Imeth and I found myself just accidentally parrying a lot. And most of the moves, if you do mess them up and get hit, they're not going to one-shot you, which I really like. It always feels bad when you're just like in the flow of things and you react a little bit too slowly to a dodge and boom, you're dead. Just restart. This fight doesn't really have that. The first phase is pretty easy, and I usually manage to push it to a phase transition before Hyvatia started flying around or doing anything like that. Whenever Hyvatia did use that moveset, I honestly would just restart the fight and roll the dice again so I wouldn't have to deal with it. The first phase transition is identical to the non-hologram boss fight, where you have to dodge and then parry, or parry and then dodge. You just can't do dodging and parrying back to back. You have to alternate, and then you have to dodge like a dive bomb at the end. And if you're wondering the timing for dodging that dive bomb, just wait for Hyvatia to stop blinking and then immediately dodge. And you can even double dodge if you want to. But after that, Hyvatia gets a few new moves. She has some new projectile attacks. It looks like the kind of projectiles that you can deflect, but honestly, I never really got a chance to try it. And then there's another phase transition similar to the first one, where if you're familiar with Melania from Elden Ring in her second phase, where she kind of just sends out a bunch of specters of herself to attack you in sequence, it's very reminiscent to that attack, where you're just constantly having to dodge and parry for a few seconds. You get a breather and then you do it again, and then there's like another big one-shot AoE that you have to dodge. The timing's not too bad to figure out. Most of my attempts, I just straight up died here and I would just restart. On my first clear, I had Imeth die here and I just used Linnae and Mornay to get a clear, and then I tried it again because I wanted a better attempt to show off. And when I got here in my second clear, I kid you not, I had an update for another game that kind of just like showed up at the worst time and really screwed me up, but I managed to get through without anyone dying, and then Imeth kind of died anyways afterwards. But I did get a slightly slower clear. My only real complaints about this fight is that it feels a little bit buggy. So in the first phase transition, I'll just call it like an intermission phase. The first intermission phase, if you're playing someone like Mornay or Imeth, like if you're in Mornay's observation mode or like her aerial mode, you can't dodge without landing first in that phase. But the issue is that in that phase, you don't have enough time to land and then dodge or counterattack as Mornay. So if you get sent into that phase as Mornay is just gonna die, usually. And here's where bug number 2 came in. I got grabbed, but I took no damage. So there's something funky going on there. Also, in the second intermission phase, the same issue applies with Mornay and Imeth if you're in your mech form, where you're going to be flying and you can't do any dodging unless you land first. You can actually do some cheesy strategies here where you can just float in the air as either of those characters and pretty much ignore every single attack until the AoE at the end that just one-shots you. So I haven't really tried it, but you could maybe just float to dodge everything and then find a good time to land so you can dodge. But yeah, the fight seems a little bit buggy with specifically aerial units during these phase transitions, and hopefully that gets fixed. If not, just be mindful of like when these transitions are going to happen and make sure that you have the right character. So like overall, this is definitely my favorite fight, hologram wise. Usually I just do the fight to one clear and then just never bother with it again. This is the first time I was like, okay, I want to do that again and like get a more full experience of the fight. And I might even go back a few more times just to try to get that perfect run, you know. I made a tier list a little while ago of every hologram, at least the ones that had a level 100 version, and I would definitely put Hyvatia in the S tier. Like, this is a super easy S tier for me. This is a really good fight, and I really hope Kuro designs more fights like this. You know, you can make mistakes, and there's a lot of mechanics to interact with. The boss is just fun to fight when they're not doing these like special phases. It's just all around really well designed. Very surprising for me. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. Have you guys enjoyed Hyvatia as much as I have? Or do you think this is just like Giga F tier hologram boss fight, or you just hate holograms? Because I can definitely understand that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.